Now look, when I first heard about this fight between Conor McGregor and Max Holloway, I have to admit, I had the typical reaction of, oh boy, Conor is going to get destroyed. If we are being realistic, he's not even gonna be able to touch Max. You know, the usual. But then I remembered, it's 2026. In case you haven't noticed already, it's the year of the upsets. So in light of names like Ilia Topuria, Hamzat Chimaev, and more favorites losing their O's this year, I started thinking nothing really makes sense anymore, and Conor's long-awaited comeback is also happening soon. So I said to myself, what if he pulls off the upset? Can he do it? When you frame the question like that, I think it becomes almost stupid to say Conor has no chance, right? This guy had some of the highest highs in the history of the UFC, he practically made the sport into what it is, so of course, yeah, he can, he always will have a chance in that octagon. Doesn't mean it would be easy though, and that's what I was thinking initially. My first prediction, so to say, was something along the lines of course, Conor is going to have his little moments where he looks good, but as the fight progresses, a much fresher, younger, more active Max is just going to take over. This made total sense to me, it still does to a degree, however, my mind has changed a little after seeing elite fighters like Topuria and Pereira moving up in weight and looking kinda sketchy. I know Topuria looked amazing against Oliveira, but bear with me here, cause you know, he also got destroyed by Gaethje. And most importantly, if we are to compare Max and his move up to welterweight to someone, I think that person would and should be Alex Pereira. Let me tell you something guys, Pereira looked super slow against Cyril Gane, it wasn't even funny unfortunately. I'm still so bummed out because of that, but seeing it made me lean towards Conor actually winning this fight against Max. Max Holloway is one of the greatest featherweights ever in the history of the UFC, there's no doubt about that whatsoever. But when you sit down and really think about his fighting style, the first thing that comes to mind is the pace he puts on people, right? It's not a stretch at all to say his greatest victories has always come from him being difficult to touch while he overwhelms his opponent with accuracy, and by far most importantly, his volume, man, volume. Max was never the guy who puts guys out with just one punch, he never had that KO power, and don't come here and say he knocked out Gaethje, I know he only pulled that off after beating him up for 25 minutes straight, anyway, he was never that guy. So yeah, I'm thinking him moving up 3 weight classes from his original weight of featherweight all the way up to welterweight, it will undoubtedly damage the strongest parts of his game. By the way, I should have said 2, but in my mind we had featherweight Max, right? That's version 1, the original one. Then we had the lightweight Max, who absolutely destroyed Justin Gaethje, who is the current champion of that said weight class. But as you know, Max cut down again, only to get knocked out by Topuria down at featherweight. And at the end of it all, we will have this third version of Max in welterweight. It's a wild ride, man. I think it's going to take its toll on Max for sure. It's just going to be a matter of how badly will it really affect him. It doesn't have to be a whole lot though, cause regardless of how long a break Conor has taken from the sport, he is still Conor, come on. We all know he was juiced to the gills during his recovery too, so Conor will be strong. I'm not really sure about how fast he will be though, so me as a delusional fan hoping for an upset so that we can see another Conor super fight. It's kinda selfish to say, but I hope Max will slow down enough from putting all this weight on to the point of Conor being able to catch him with a nasty left hand or something. That's Conor's only way to victory, by the way. No, he's not gonna win a decision after taking like what, 5 years off? You know what would be the absolutely funniest thing though, dude? If Conor, like he did in the first fight against Max, just goes out there and wrestles him, takes him down, just smothering and nothing else. For those of you who are not complete UFC old heads, these two fought before and Conor was badly hurt in that fight. He still won a decision by just grappling and control time, which is crazy to look back on. A repeat of that in the big 2026 would be the funniest thing, and a part of me says Conor can do it, because he's obviously going to be bigger, right? But if you are being real, he probably won't even try anything similar to this. Anyway, as I've been saying, he can win on the feet too. It's a long shot, don't get me wrong. If he pulls it off, it will be something to celebrate for sure. Cause come on, 5 years off isn't exactly a small amount of time. Yet, like you know, I'm of the opinion he can and will pull this off. Maybe I'm deluded by Sean Strickland and Justin Gaethje getting through guys like Topuria and Chimaev. Maybe, I don't know. But let me try my best best to explain my entire thought process as to why I believe Conor can do it, aside from the usual arguments of just saying, oh guys, come on, Conor shines when the lights are the brightest. Now, we've seen fighters move up a weight class and do well, that happens, yeah, but 2 weight classes, that's no joke. In this specific situation, we have to consider Max's fighting style, which I really don't think holds up well at all if he's sluggish and slow. I mean, I don't want to kick a guy when he's down, yet he looked horrendous against Charles, unfortunately. Regarding that fight, I wasn't surprised at all when it came to him being ragdolled in grappling. However, him losing almost all of the only few striking exchanges him and Oliveira had, that sucked, man. When you think about it, the UFC is going to be forcing a Max Holloway, who just got dominated by Oliveira, to move up a weight class yet again only months after. I don't know, it seems like a recipe for disaster if you ask me. If you've been skeptical about my whole thesis here so far, let me just ask you a question and you have to be honest, alright? If Max was fighting anyone but Conor, wouldn't you have said, what the hell, why is he moving to welterweight? You would, you 100% would. I know that cause I would. So at the end of it all, the big question is, do you think Conor is worse than all the ranked welterweights in the UFC? I think not, man, I think not. That's why, even though I know on paper Max looks like a lock, I would definitely watch out for a Conor upset here in UFC 329. That's all I have for today. For more balanced and reasonable takes, feel free to subscribe and I'll catch you next time.